Hello and welcome to the Kiwi Advisor Network podcast. I'm the host, Warwick Slow, and today's guest is the current #1 ranked mortgage advisor in the country. Her name is Paulette Trotter, and she's from the Loanmarket office in Highland Park, which is actually just a stone's throw away from our office here at the Kiwi Advisor Network. There's some really good stuff in here if you're looking at building your advice business, from how to build your referral networks, how to take the plunge and just start hiring some people in your business too to help free up your time. Paulette's great. She's really personable. You can see why she's built such a solid business. And if you get value from this, please share it with some other advisors who might as well. It really helps us grow and provide more value to the entire industry as a whole. And remember, this counts towards your CPD points. So if you log this in your continuing professional development log, count towards that. And if you want to listen to this, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to listen to it via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find us there at the Can Podcast. So otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Paulette, thank you so much for joining me today. We're trying to do a bit of a series. We talked to the top advisors in the country. I think you've always been there or thereabouts in the top, and you think you got #1 this year.
Yep.
And
Finally,
yeah. Well, I mean, I even look back and I'd seen that you've been like #1 in Australasia for Loanmarket, which, massive company.
Yes. Yep.
Doesn't happen easily. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a few things, but what's the secret?
Work hard.
Yeah.
It really is work hard. Service to the clients. So giving that service really makes a difference, because then they tell their friends and family about you. Google. So we've got 600, I think, 19 or 20 reviews.
Wow.
So once again, when people are looking for somebody, that really helps. East Auckland Grapevine, or the Grapevine in whatever area you're in. Yeah, all of that makes such a difference. So yeah, definitely working hard. I mean, I didn't finish till 8 o'clock last night.
Just constant,
and the service,
isn't it?
it's constant, and it's the service that makes a difference, because I got 6 leads yesterday.
Wow.
And that was just yesterday. 6
And
new leads.
Are those leads from people that you've dealt with who've referred them to you, or are they ones that you've got through like your local Facebook community, or how?
So a couple didn't mention anything, so it could have been Google. One was from somebody who knew me. One was definitely from customers. Sometimes it's hard to know until I actually talk to them, and they don't always let me know either. It would be a mixture.
It's hard. Sometimes it can be hard to track. You got to like really build in. Like, how did you find out about us?
Yes,
and then,
yeah. And quite often I forget to ask that, actually, to be honest, because I'm too busy trying to find out how I can help them, and forget to ask. But actually, I need to start asking.
Of all the things you're trying to figure out, it just seems like such an afterthought. Going, how did you find us?
Yeah, that's right. Every now and then I do, and it's quite interesting. But it's definitely a mixture between existing clients coming on the Grapevine. Real estate agents definitely as well, actually.
Oh, great.
Facebook, Google.
Because you're just down the road from our office. I think
Yes.
I actually see it
distance.
quite often. Yeah, if I'm going to grab a pizza or something. And it's. I mean, there's a real estate office attached to you?
So when I started out, I was fortunate enough to be given Ray White Botany to look after, Flatbush, and I shared Ray White Howick. And that was really beneficial, because so initially with Ray White Botany, I'd go and sit in the office, I'd talk to the agents, I'd go to open homes, and I'd get lots of leads that way. And not all the leads are good, but any lead's a lead, right? And out of maybe 25-30% converted, but those 25 or 30% I never would have had the opportunity. So I was attached to Ray White offices. Now just focus on Howick, and generally, to be fair, just focus on a few key agents, because that's all I've got capacity for. But if another agent gives me a lead, I will ring the client and get back to them, but I don't focus on a whole heap anymore like I used to.
It's important being prompt in those situations.
Yes, yeah.
One thing I've really learned since being in the industry, a lead's only as good as the advisor they're going to.
Yes.
And if you're not prompt, you just drag the chain, or you just give the impression that you're like too busy to deal with them.
Yeah.
People will just go away like that.
Yeah, they do. And look, I'm generally in back-to-back meetings all day, and as I said yesterday, I got 6 leads. I didn't get a chance to call any of them, but I emailed every single one last night before I finished up, going, I'll give you a call at this time. Does this work? Everyone's come back and gone, perfect, I'll talk to you then. So one person goes, can you ring me at this time? And I've changed it. So I always respond that day to a lead. Can't always call them, but I always respond, and I just tell them when I'm going to call them. And invariably, they always pick up.
it's something that I had drummed into me. My very first job, I used to do a part-time job working in an ice cream parlor.
Right, yes.
And it's a similar thing. Summertime, you have a queue that's just like 20 meters long.
Yeah.
And the boss there would always say, even the people at the very back, just give them eye contact and say, be with you in a moment, give them a little free sample, give them something so they know that they've been attended to, because that's the hardest part sometimes.
Just the basic stuff, eh? Yeah. It's just service. If I didn't email those clients last night, they'd be thinking, yeah, she's too busy.
And you mentioned that you're working to 8 o'clock.
Not every night, but just lately it seems to have really picked up.
How many hours do you think you do a week? Might be a hard one to quantify.
Not as much as I used to in the good old days. But I try and finish by 7 every night. My last appointment's 4 o'clock. By Thursday, Friday, it's getting a bit better. Friday's like 6 o'clock because it's wine time. And Saturday, Sunday, probably only do a couple of, maybe 2.5 hours each day. And I don't actually have to work in the weekends. It's more, so my Monday's a bit better, and it's a bit better for the girls because we're pretty smashed on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is crazy for us. So I'll do a bit on the weekend, but I don't actually have to. So if I don't, maybe 55 Saturday average. So maybe 60 tops, but yeah, no, it wouldn't be any more than 60.
And how many are in the team?
So I've got 3 full-time, I've got 1 part-time, and I had 1 part-time on maternity leave, which is due to come back. So probably 4 FTE in total.
Great.
Yep.
Having that type of support network is so crucial, I think.
100%. Yeah.
How do you you said you stack up meetings.
Yes.
How intentional are you about structuring your day and the way you spend your time?
Very, actually. So I book meetings and I book everyone for an hour, knowing that it might be 40 minutes or it might be half an hour. That gives me time after that to then delegate that work to the girls and then maybe return a call or two. So today, I think I've got a half an hour break all day. But there's a few appointments that I know I'll be able to finish a bit earlier. So it's very structured right up till 5 o'clock. It's back to back. And
how long do you spend each morning, or is it the day before, prepping how you're going to work for the day?
Yep. So my girls prep my meetings. So if it's a new appointment, what our process is I talk to the customers, make sure I can help them. I book them in for a meeting. I send them the fact find. I ask them to complete that fact find prior to the meeting. And if they don't, one of my girls will call them going, hey, can we do it over the phone then? Would you like me to help you? We need all the documents. If they don't get us the information, we actually then extend the meeting. So I don't actually have that meeting unless I'm prepared, because I don't have time to go through information of what their assets and liabilities are. But everyone does complete it with the help of one of my girls. She will review everything, get missing documents. By the time I meet that customer for a new application, I know which bank, I know what they can afford. I've got everything by their expenses.
It's amazing how there's so many advisors that I chat to all the time. And obviously, because we do Trail and the Kiwi Advice Network, and they'll push back on the sending the fact find part. They're like, clients won't do it.
Yeah, no, they do.
But if you push them and that's the process and you really stick by it, people do it.
They do it. And I just make it very clear when I'm ringing them going, right, this is my process. I'll book them for a Google Hangout meeting unless they want to see me face to face. But most people are too busy to travel to me, and Google works perfect. I tell them they've got to complete it at least 24 hours before the meeting, and I tell them the why. And then our meetings are really streamlined. So I said, and the reason, if they ask me the why, it's so I'm not worried about your assets and your liabilities, and I'm focusing on what you can do. What's that going to cost you? What happens when you find a property? So I'm focusing on the good stuff as opposed to information they can give me before it. So that actually I won't have a meeting unless I've got it.
Yeah, and that's pitch well. Yeah. If it's, we're just going to be going through getting your date of birth and everything like that, just do it in advance.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd probably have maybe 1 a month, and it's probably that low where they don't do it, and I've got to go, let's extend the appointment time. Actually, I don't do that. One of my girls do that.
No, that's good though.
They do it, but I used to be like that when I first started as well. I'd think, no, they're not going to do it, and I'd rock up to the appointment, they've done nothing. Can you spend the first half an hour getting details? It's just, to me, not value for time.
You can't get to the top if you're structuring it that way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a pretty clear message.
Yes.
The marketing side of things, it's building those good referral networks, making sure you're prompt, following up, and then you've got to build efficiency into the process.
Yep, absolutely.
I think about my, I'm trying to get this dental work done. I've got a bottom retainer, had Invisalign a few years ago.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And it's broken. I've been trying to book in for 6 months, and they're so inefficient.
Right.
That's as far away as I could book. And then yesterday they sent me like their new client onboarding form. It's just this like massive PDF. I was like, oh, come on.
But you've been inefficient as well.
Yeah, I know.
Because they've got your money.
I know. I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
send me an online form.
Yes, yeah.
I wish everybody did it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think.
The online form's been really, really helpful. And I'm not good with technology, but as soon as I think it was COVID that kind of had to teach me to do things differently, i.e. online appointments, online forms. We had to do things differently. And I tell you what, I'm so glad. COVID actually taught me some things that maybe I might not have done.
Yeah, overall COVID, not good, but some things.
Yeah, efficiency in your business, good.
It's like, so are you like, what percentage are you doing in person versus online, do you reckon?
Oh, crikey. 3% in person.
Okay.
Wow. And generally, though, that 3%, it's either a KiwiBank refi where I have to see them face to face to sign off this because they've got in-house solicitors. So there's no exception. You have to see them face to face. So that if I'm doing a KiwiBank refi, or some of my old customers insist on I need to see her face to face, which is fine because that's what they're used to and that's what they want, and I will do that. But I'm only in the office 2 days a week, so they've got to make it work for me. So I don't especially come to the office. It's Monday and Wednesday that I'm in the office, and they have to make that work if they want to see me face to face.
Now, I want to know what's next for you, because if you get to the top,
right,
and sometimes you can get to that point, you go, oh, geez, what do I do now? It's like you have this goal that you're striving for.
Yep.
What do you want to do next?
I'd like to be number one again, Loanmarket internationally. So I was 5th this year and only very close to being 3rd. Like there was 1 or 2 in it. Like it was so close between 4th and 3rd. So the goal is to try and get to number one again, one more time. Australia had a booming year this year. Obviously New Zealand, when I say this year, it was actually last year, which ended June. We had a much tougher year. Equally, they may have a tough year, which might help me. Yeah. So they generally follow us. So I think they do, which will help me get to number one. So that's probably the goal, is to get back to number one internationally. We've got pretty big client base. So there'll be a point where I'll have to limit how many new I can take, because what's really important is looking after those existing clients, because they come back. The trail of the business obviously keeps growing, so that helps you obviously be able to take on less. But probably half my applications every month are from existing clients rebuying, or I want to top up, or whatever it might be, and I want to keep looking after those people that are loyal to me rather than keep taking new and losing it out the back door. So we'll have to at some point limit the new that we take.
Yeah, a bit like my dentist. Push her on 6 months away.
Oh no, I'll look after my existing clients first.
Okay, good.
Just be the new ones I might not be able to have the capacity to do.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, do you bring in another advisor or?
Yeah, I'm not thinking of doing that because I don't want to grow too big. It could be that I've got an advisor that's happy for me to pass the leads on to their business, and then they obviously pay me a referral fee like the insurance people do.
For sure.
Yeah.
You've done insurance as well, haven't you?
I was a regional manager in ASB for insurance advisory. I have not done it in this capacity because I don't think you could do both well. So I refer insurances.
And you were head of the broker, was it the broker centre or the broker unit?
Auckland Broker Centre.
Broker Centre at ASB?
Yes.
How did you find that?
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was full on. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I never thought I'd be doing this, to be honest. I didn't intend to leave the bank.
What happened? I mean, at what point were you going, actually, this is pretty sweet?
My last job in ASB, probably didn't enjoy it as much. So then I decided to look at other options. And Bruce Patton was always putting my name forward for jobs. So he goes, oh, look, let's meet. I didn't think I was meeting him about, joining or helping him. I thought it might have been, he knew some things. And so I got talking to him. We and I thought about it for about 8 months. We did a personality test, and I was like, yeah, let's give this a go. I know my stuff, so, what have I got to lose? And before I left, I spoke to a couple of general managers within ASB going, if I do this and it doesn't work, will you take me back?
That's pretty cool, though.
And they said yes. I mean, they might not have, but they said yes. But the best thing I ever did.
And how have you found the last year? I think, obviously you're doing well, but is it still a drop on the previous years in terms of
100%.
volume?
Yep. So I think I settled actually, I'm not too sure. It might have been about 190 or 200, something around that figure in the last Aussie Australian financial year, but the year before that was 240. So
Wow.
So it is, we were probably 25% down.
Yeah.
Definitely 25% down on application numbers. But what I found was we might have been 25% down on application numbers. So we averaged submitting about 40 to 45 a month. In the heyday, it was 60 to 65. But a lot of those people were, I guess, trying to keep up with the Joneses and weren't really serious.
Sort of the goal of this podcast as well. You know, there's just so much good information out there.
Yes, yeah.
There needs to be a platform to share it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, I mean, one of my assistants is my sister actually, and she did some really good templates. And I went, oh, can you forward these to Aaron in the office? She went, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? And she goes,
that's mine.
Yeah, she goes, well, we don't want them to be as good as us. I'm like, there's so much business out there. You know, we can all be good as each other and we'll still be busy. And equally, he shared some stuff with me that I'm like, that's really good. So sharing's really important. And there's plenty of business out there. So it's not like they're going to step on your toes just because they do something similar or the same. It just means we're all more efficient.
Recently, one of our insurance advisors put a post up on the advisor Facebook page. It was like, does anybody want to do a session and just run through how I use Trail? And the amount of outreach, I think, like when I checked on it yesterday, there's already like 30 comments in. Yep, I'll jump on and do that.
Yeah.
There's a real appetite to grow.
Yes.
And people are hungry for it. Just need to have the information and support there.
Yeah. It's just people doing it. So that would be one key. Having referral, like people to refer you business. So I used to pay for leads with real estate agents, accountants, or whoever it might be. I don't pay for them now, but that was really invaluable because not all leads are good, but the ones that you convert, they're then going to tell their friends and family because they're happy with your service. So yeah, having that's really, really important.
Yeah, just getting those leads in, because as soon as you have somebody that you've done a good job for, and they're like, I trust Paulette.
Yes.
She's a weapon.
Yeah.
She's going to do me right.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to send their friends your way as well.
They do, and family, and it just grows from there. So yeah, having some sort of referral source, having a mentor, and also don't be shy to get staff on. Every time I was too late on getting staff, I was always on the back foot, and it's really hard because you're thinking of money, but try and be on the front foot of getting that next person on rather than being on the back foot. Then you've got to train them. Well, you've got to find the right person first. Then you've got to train them so they're potentially not a lot of good for you for 6 months. But once you, so being on the front foot with
that can be
stuff,
hard,
that
because
is
even
very
finding
hard.
the right person,
Yes.
what skill set do they have, what can they do in the business, like where are the holes? You know, if you've got too many leads, is it bringing another advisor? But if you've got too much admin, it's obviously bring an admin person. Who was your first person and how did you bring them on?
So I was lucky once again because I joined Bruce's business initially. Right from the get-go, he's like, right, you're going to have access to my support staff. And I'm like, well, that's going to cost me. Can I not do that to start with? And he went, no, I want you to start properly. So I had access to staff straight away, which looking back, and that's not going to be possible for a lot of people. I was just lucky. Then I think after about 12 months, I can't remember the timeline, but that's when I was like, actually, I need my own person. And that was really scary because, the salary, I'm paying it all by myself, all that type of stuff. And then it was only about 6 months later, I was like, I think I need somebody else. And my assistant, who's been with me the longest, she's amazing, super efficient. She's like, nah, we'll be okay. So by the time we did hire this person, we were slammed. Yeah. And this poor person just got thrown in the deep end. Luckily, they're still with me. But the first 3 months must have been awful for them.
And
I'm
trial by fire.
Yeah, and I'm sure she would say that. If you asked her, like in front of me, she'd probably go, actually, it wasn't a good experience because I was busy. Lucy, my assistant, was busy, and we just had to throw her in the deep end, and she had to sink or swim. Luckily, she swam, but it was tough on her.
That would have been. What year was this? Was it 2020? Was it?
No, it might have been. I can't remember actually. No, it definitely wasn't COVID. It might have been the end. Oh, she joined in September, so it might have been September 2018, perhaps. Yes, I think she was with me at least a year before COVID. Yeah, she was. But it was definitely tough on her, even with COVID, because we still hadn't spent a lot of time training. But she does an amazing job as well.
You talk about Bruce being a great mentor for you.
Yes. Yep.
There must be a point where you're going, could I be that type of mentor to somebody else new coming in?
Yes, yeah.
Is there anybody that you're eyeing up that you want to bring in just for a low-key conversation?
If someone rings me, I'm happy to help. And as I say, Loanmarket do get me from time to time to hold, they do a 1 hour session, and they give me a list of questions they want me to cover off, and then it just grows from there, right? Am I looking to mentor someone permanently? I don't know if I'd have a lot of capacity, but if someone rang me going, look, I just want to pick your brains for an hour, and I do get that. I had someone from Christchurch within Loanmarket going, can I come and see you? I'm in Auckland. And I'm like, yep, sweet. Here's fitted in with the fact that he was in Auckland, and we had an hour. I got one of my girls to email him a heap of templates. Not sure if he used them or not, but yeah, if people approach me, I do.
That's so good. Yeah, the whole single swim thing is it can be interesting. I feel like around COVID as well, joined the business, there's just so much change, and I felt that similar feeling of got to really hustle here, but I think in the end all that hard work you put in just pays off.
Once we got over COVID, it just went insane, didn't it? So yeah.
What a weird time that was.
Yeah, I know,
I'm kind of
right?
glad we're over it.
We were my poor girls, because they didn't get any break. They had to work all through, and we rang every single client to make sure they're okay, but all that stuff has hopefully paid dividends because they remembered that, and then they'll come back to us. It's all those kind of basic soft skills that people see you top of mind. Because if I look at what I do now after settlement versus what I did when I started, I'm a lot more efficient with it. We have a lot more touch points after settlement. We weren't as efficient at it to begin with, so we could have lost a lot more customers, because it's easy to forget who you used, right? If you're not in touch, it's like, who was that mortgage advisor I used? What was her name?
It's funny, because people all the time, they'll use a mortgage advisor, and it's so transactional for them, I think.
Yeah.
And they don't build that relationship. But they're, imagine the way you talk about your clients, they'll probably remember who you are. And in turn, I guess if you build that relationship too, and you're having that conversation with them, I think if you see them in the flesh, face to face, you'd be like, I know you.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's all my ones pre-COVID, because the meetings were a lot longer. You saw them face to face. It's easy to remember them, but the ones now with Google, it's a little bit harder. But that's where that after settlement contact is really important to keep top of mind. And some mortgage advisors find the refixes. For example, with a couple of banks, they can just go and do it online. We still get our customers to email us what's online, because they might not be the best. And we still give them my opinion on rates at the time. It's only an opinion. And help them through that process. Even though it's, I guess, time, I want to be top of mind when they're buying and selling again.
That's it. Because I feel like we're pretty close to that tipping point now.
Yes.
It's always fun listening back to these sometimes, and you go, oh, that was a different time. Talking about pre-election, and then 6 months down the line, someone might be listening to this going, oh wow, we did actually have a bit of a turn. So you just don't know.
No, exactly.
Listen to those economists. Tony Alexander. Most of the time they go like, oh yeah, I think it's gonna be this, but could be this. Flip a coin.
Yeah.
No idea.
Well, after COVID, I think didn't one of the banks say we're gonna house prices are going to reduce by 12%? Did nothing but probably go up by 12%.
How do you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess they're looking at well, it's just a prediction. It's like
But then, it was just that point where I feel like there's so much money around.
Yes.
And people had so much time, they can't travel.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's right. Buy jet skis and upgrade your house, buy a bat. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny, the jet ski thing. Our CEO, Chuck, he bought a jet ski, but it didn't work as a project to build it back up.
Yes.
And then I was asking him recently, I was like, how'd that jet ski go? He's like, I sold it. Not worth it.
We bought one too, actually.
Yeah. Have you used it?
Absolutely, yeah. But we've got kids, so, young kids that we take on the biscuit in summer and stuff like that. So, yeah. So,
you're based around East Auckland?
Yes.
We must know a lot of similar people. Maybe afterwards we can have a chat. Especially because we bought around Half Moon Bay.
Right.
So, you just do like all the rounds, all the real estate agents, like who's who, and spend a lot of time at that yacht club down on the marina.
Oh, do you?
Or used to, not anymore, for the auction. I don't have a yacht.
Right, yeah.
That's just where they do the auctions in East Auckland. But...
Yeah. I used to spend lots of time there too.
Oh, yeah. What a time. I think we've run through, your journey getting into the industry, a couple of key tips, getting a mentor, hiring that first person can be really tricky, but just going for it. There's some tools you can use. I know that like in Trail, we've got a trail commission projection tool. It can be quite useful. So at least you can see, like, am I on track to have, X amount of residual income coming through in the next few months? That can be quite a useful thing for people to use as well. But yeah, it's just service. I think that's the key part.
Yes.
Just being really vigilant.
Yeah.
One other thing I'd like to know is, how do you, for the Google reviews, you got over 600.
Yes.
How do you get people to leave them?
So I used to ask, but I don't really like asking. So actually, I didn't implement the system. One of my assistants did. So a lot of the things I don't implement, by the way, it's having good people behind you that make me look good. I know, it's serious. My team are amazing. So Lucy, my assistant, set up a process where, because we send out a settlement email. So in that settlement email, we congratulate them, in terms of whatever they're doing, refinancing, not that we do a lot of that, but buying a house, upgrading a house, whatever it might be. And in that body of the email, it's like, right, no, this is how you can help me. And there's actual link, so we've made it really easy. All they've got to do is click on the link and do a review. So, and we text that as well now. That's a new thing we've done. So we ask it settlement. Loanmarket have an NPS, and they also ask for a Google review, so they get us then if they do the NPS score. And then we follow up after 6 weeks to make sure they've got their cash back and everything's going smoothly and their repayments are set up. We ask again. So you have to ask about 2 or 3 times. Why? Because people are busy. So it's not that they don't want to do one. It's more they're in the midst of shifting on the settlement email. And quite often I'll get an email back going, yep, I'm going to do a review because I really appreciated what you do. But they don't do a review because they've just been too busy and it's now not top of mind. But we ask at 6 weeks and we still get them at 6 weeks. So it's just asking 2 or 3 times.
Sometimes it can be like little things as well, saying, if you think that we provided you with good service and got a good outcome for you, we'd love to help more. And a really easy way for you to help us get to more. I mean, first things first, refer us to some of your friends, but just
that's on the same email as well.
Yeah.
Tell your friends and family about us as well. So it just says this is how you can help us, because I know we've done a good service.
Yeah.
So and quite often at my structure meeting, the clients talk about all my staff. They don't talk about me because it's all my staff that's help them get there. Like when they're signing up on a property, we're very clear of what's their steps, what's our steps. Nothing ever gets missed, and unconditional never gets missed. And so all that, they remember that more than they remember what I did in the beginning. So it's easy to get a Google review if I'm confident.
Done a good job.
Yeah, if you've done a good job, and I know we have. So we just ask for it.
So good.
Yeah.
No, I'm really stoked that, it seems like you're in a really good place.
Yep.
I want you to be number 1 internationally as well. So best of luck to you. How do the people find you if they want to reach out in terms of, scratching your itch?
Just give me a call or flick me an email. So on my website, it's my email address or my cell phone number.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, they can find you down at the Tactics Bar on Avonmore Drive.
No. I don't have time to drink.
No,
actually, I do on the weekend, but that's normally at home.
No, we always have a joke. There's probably a sports bar like right in between us.
Yeah, there is.
It just looks.
I'd like to, actually, that could be my goal in the future, is actually to go to the bar more often, because actually I do like having a wine or 3.
Yep, especially if you've earned it.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
it sounds like you have.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Paulette.
Awesome.
Cheers.